There is a pile of random stuff sitting on my workshop floor. There is this device that's part of that pile. Some assembly required. Let's dig this out and see what it is. This is the Pioneer CT-F4040 front-loading cassette deck from the late 1970s, and although it's been sitting on the floor for several months now, about half a year I'd say, it's been a while, I did not lose any of the parts. They all appear to be right there, so that's good. A bit of a miracle, in fact. So what's the deal with this? Well, whenever I restored the Pioneer CT-606, that cassette deck had bad lights in the VU meters, and since I like the 606 better than this one, I said, okay, we're just going to take the lights out of the 4040, put them into the 606, get that to work fully. So I took this all apart, and then I obtained another source for those VU meter lights. So I did not take any parts from this deck, I just took it apart and never put it back together. So that's what we're going to do tonight, because I have a viewer coming over tomorrow and hopefully I can sell this thing to him. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, so what are we dealing with? Well, it's quite clean on the inside. I just went through and checked all the belts and they do appear to be fine. So ideally, it's only going to be a matter of putting a bunch of screws back into their respective places. And of course, I will be putting some contact spray into that switch right there, because you might remember from the CT-606 that turned out to be quite a problem on that unit in record mode. So let's get started. I guess first of all, going to put this front back together, and in case you wonder why this is still on looking all weird like this, well, it's connected by the spring right there. That's for the transparent door on the front. Well, I guess this is a somewhat interesting perspective. Decided to plug it in, and as you can see, all the lights are working. After putting 6 screws back into their places, the front is now back together and looking quite good. I took this to the air compressor and blew out all the dust that had accumulated while this was sitting open. So now it is nice and clean both inside and out. I put the knobs back on. It turned out the input level potentiometer was pretty loose, so I tightened down the nut that's holding that in place, so nice and solid now. And I put in a cassette, and as you can see, it does play back. It does do fast forward, and it also does rewind, and the brakes are working as well. I did initially have a bit of a problem where the right channel would start oscillating, so that would indicate a bad contact in the record play switch right there, so I'll have to spray that with some contact spray. And of course I'm now going to test the actual performance of the deck. It seems to work mechanically. Of course, I also got to make sure that all the electronics are working fine. I'd say I'm pretty much done now. I went through and cleaned all these switches and contacts and potentiometers with contact cleaner. So that's all working fine, especially that switch in the back that caused us so much trouble on the CT-606. That's fine. Record play switch is fine. Cleaned up the belts as well, so those should be working a bit better now. Better than they did before. And also went and cleaned the tape path. Might not be able to really see that, but it's all nice and clean. Especially the capstan and pinch roller, because those were filthy. And to confirm that this is in fact fully functional, I made this test tape. So let's press play and see what happens. Once the leader tape is gone, you'll be able to hear the erase works. Silence. I'd say that's enough of that. So the deck works. It is ready to be picked up tomorrow. Thank you for watching.